Hello, welcome to my weekly look ahead video. And I thought I'd come outside. We have the Christmas tree up. Amazingly, it survived the winds at the weekend, but certainly the weather's feeling a bit more Christmassy because it's freezing. So we'll get on with this. Last week we had a fantastic sight where I am today as 120 troops who've been serving in Afghanistan marched through to the House of Parliament to be received by the speakers and the Prime Minister as a sign of our thanks and gratitude and respect for the fantastic job they did in airlifting so many people out of Afghanistan. They then walked into Westminster Hall through the very same door that the Duke of Wellington marched his troops after the Battle of Waterloo back in 1815. So it was quite an emotional and historic occasion as well. Now back here at Westminster, it's a busy week. Obviously, we've got the new restrictions that have come in because of the fears over the Omicron, or is it Omicron variant from southern Africa. My concern is I don't want us to go back into lockdown, and I want any measures the government's announcing to be proportionate. I think wearing masks on public transport, as most people certainly have in my experience, been still doing, and going to shops, if that means we can keep them open, then I don't have a problem with that. What I don't want is various other lockdown measures creeping in, so we'll be keeping a close eye on what the government announces next. In terms of legislation in Parliament, this week we've got the Leasehold Reform Ground Rent Bill, which is all about dealing with the charges that many people have to pay when they've got a leasehold arrangement on their property. We've got an interesting, what's called a 10-minute rule bill from a private member, which I'm helping to sponsor, which is microfiber. I'm just reading my script here in the gloom. Microfiber filters on washing machine, and this would ensure we have extra devices on washing machines because of these now microfibers which end up in the water and can be really damaging to marine life. So it's a really interesting and sensible measure we're trying to get brought in. Then we're dealing with the finance bill on Wednesday. Again, that's the implications of the budget. We have several more days of that before all the measures become law. And we've got debates at the end of the week on the looming conflicts going on in Bosnia-Herzegovina on the fringes of Europe at the moment, and also a debate on economic crime. I went earlier today to a memorial service for my former colleague Cheryl Gillen, who was the fantastic MP for Chesham and Amersham, who sadly died of cancer earlier this year, and one of those great parliamentary occasions and very moving. I've also had a Zoom meeting with a number of primary school heads from Ada with various concerns, not just about COVID, but on safeguarding issues and things like that, and got some really good feedback from them, which I always like to do. Got a meeting with Health Minister Maria Caulfield, who's also the MP for Lewis, on various stillbirth issues relating to my Private Members Act, and she's responsible for that area now. On Tuesday, I've got a roundtable of GPs from all the practices across my constituency, just to try and get a handle on how they're coping with COVID, the complaints we've had about how difficult it is to get an appointment with the GPs. So hopefully I'm going to get it from the horse's mouth, and I'll report back next week on some of the things they've been able to tell me. I've got meetings about children's social care later on this week. I've also got a meeting with the University of Sussex, where I think we should be asking some interesting questions about why Professor Kathleen Stock had to resign her position after a rather lot of intimidation there. Home Affairs Select Committee, we're carrying on our inquiry into sexual violence against women and girls. I'm speaking at a clean air conference later on this week as well, and air quality is a big issue locally. I'm also speaking on a China security conference, given my position on Tibet and Uyghurs and being on the Chinese sanctioned list, as everybody knows about. I've got meetings about adoption. We have got a virtual visit to Parliament by the Vale School from Finland Valley this week, so I should be greeting them virtually, unless we're not seeing them in person. And then I've got a virtual webinar about the Sussex Bay Kelp project, which I'm very involved in and I'm very excited about. And then I've got a meeting on Friday with the CCG, and I'll do an update blog over the weekend about the rollout of the booster vaccination and how they're coping with that. And then it's the St Michael's Church at Lancing, their Christmas tree festival over the weekend, I'm hoping to drop into as well. So it's a really busy week at Westminster, and I have to say the inside of our offices at Westminster are not much warmer than it is out here, so I'm going to try and get warm somewhere. Anyway, have a good week. I hope the weather's a bit warmer down on the coast than it is here at Westminster at the moment. Over and out.